Maya didn't sleep much after reading Daniel's letter. The words replayed all night in the darkness. You weren't part of the plan. You were the part one never saw coming. If you want the truth face to face, I'll be there. Just me. She read that letter 3 more times. Folded it gently. Unfolded it. Traced the ink with her thumb. Felt something inside her that terrified her more than the eviction. More than the stress, more than losing her job. Because anger was easy. Anger made sense. But this was something else. Something she wasn't ready to admit. Not out loud. Not even in her own mind. Maya woke before the sunrise. She stood at the bathroom mirror, staring at her reflection. Her eyes were tired. Her hair was messy. Her heart was bruised. But her expression was determined. She picked up the letter again. Stared at the signature. Daniel. Just his name. No title. No CEO stamp. No power. Just a man confessing. She exhaled deeply, then whispered to herself, "Okay." She grabbed her phone. Opened her messages. Typed, "We need to talk." Deleted it. Typed, "I read your letter." Deleted it. Typed again. "Where are you?" Deleted. Finally she typed what felt right. "Can we meet?" She hovered over send. Her hands trembled. Her heart pounded. Then, send. The message delivered. Her stomach dropped. Now all she could do was wait. On the opposite side of Los Angeles, Daniel was in his office, staring blankly at a spreadsheet he wasn't actually reading. His phone vibrated. He almost ignored it. Until he saw the name. Maya. His breath stopped. His heart hammered. He swiped the notification open like the phone might explode. "Maya, can we meet?" For a moment he didn't move. Then he stood up so fast his chair rolled back and hit the wall. Evan, who was walking into the office, froze mid-sentence. "Are you? Why are you standing like someone proposed to you?" Daniel ignored him. He typed back. "Yes. Anytime. Any place." He deleted it. Too desperate. Typed again. "Name the time and place and I'll be there." Still too eager. He took a breath. Typed. "Of course. When works for you." Send. He stared at the screen like a starving man waiting for food. The typing dots appeared. Disappeared. Reappeared. His heart almost burst. Finally. Maya. This afternoon. Silver Creek Park. 4 p.m. He exhaled shakily. Evan waited, arms crossed. "Do I need to call a medic?" Daniel looked up. "I'm meeting her," he whispered. Evan nodded slowly. "Good. Don't screw it up." "I will," Daniel said honestly. "I absolutely will." Evan blinked. "Okay, you need therapy." Silver Creek Park was quiet at 4 p.m. Children were still in school. Office workers were still trapped behind desks. The only sound was the rustle of trees and a distant dog barking. Daniel arrived early. 15 minutes early. Then 10 minutes became 20. He adjusted his collar. Ran his hand through his hair. Checked his watch. Forced himself not to pace. When Maya finally appeared at the far end of the path, Daniel's entire body reacted. She looked simple. Jeans. Sweater. Hair tied back. But to him she looked like the center of gravity. He stepped forward slowly. She didn't move. Didn't smile. Didn't look away either. Her eyes held his in a way that made everything silent. "Maya," he said softly. "Daniel," she replied, voice careful. His name sounded different in her mouth. Different from Dan. Different from anything he'd ever heard. She motioned toward a bench by the water. "Can we sit?" Of course. They sat with a foot of space between them. A foot that felt like 1,000 miles. "I read your letter," she said. He nodded slowly. "I'm glad you did. It didn't fix everything. I know. But it explained things." He exhaled in relief. A small victory. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But a beginning. She looked out at the water. "You went undercover to understand people," she said slowly. "I get that. I respect that. It's noble." He swallowed. "It wasn't noble. It was selfish." Her eyes flicked to him. "I needed to feel human again," he said quietly. "I needed to be someone without power. Without expectations. Without all the noise." She stared at him for a long moment. Then why didn't you pick any other branch? She asked. Why mine? Why me? He inhaled. You were an accident. Her chest tightened. But you're the best accident that's ever happened to me, he added softly. She looked away quickly. I'm not here for romance, she said sharply. I know. I'm not here to fall for your charm. I'm not trying to charm you. She laughed bitterly. Daniel, everything about you is charm. God probably handcrafted you to be dangerously likable. Daniel blinked. That's not how my mother describes me. She almost laughed. Almost. Then her expression hardened. But you hurt me, she said. He nodded. I know. You broke my trust. I know. You walked into my life wearing a lie. His voice dropped. I know. Tears gathered in her eyes. I didn't need a superhero, she said. I needed honesty. I'm sorry, he whispered. For everything. She closed her eyes, breathing shakily. Then, what did you see? She asked quietly. When you looked at me. In that uniform. In that lobby. What did you see that made you send that help? Even after I pushed you away. He didn't hesitate. Strength, he said. More strength than anyone in that building. Her breath caught. And kindness, he continued. Even when you had nothing left to give. She blinked hard. And you know what else I saw? He whispered. She shook her head. He leaned in slightly, not touching her, not breaching her boundaries, just letting her feel the sincerity in his voice. I saw someone I wanted to protect, he said. Not because you're weak. Not because you needed saving. But because you deserved someone who didn't take you for granted. Her eyes filled instantly. She looked away again. He let her. Let her breathe. Let her gather herself. Finally, she whispered. I don't know if I can trust you again. I won't pressure you. I don't know what we are. You don't have to know. I don't know if this is a mistake. It might be, he said softly. But it might also be the best thing that ever happens to us. Silence. Then, she finally turned back to him. Her eyes were raw. Wet. Honest. And she whispered. I don't forgive you. He nodded slowly. But I'm not done talking to you either. His breath hitched. That was everything. Absolutely everything. A tiny sliver of hope. Fragile, trembling, but real. He nodded once. Then we'll talk, he said. She looked at him. Really looked. Half hope. Half fear. Half something she wasn't ready to name. Then she stood. I need to go pick up Jordan. Do you want a ride? He asked. No, she said quickly. Then softer. Not yet. He nodded. She began walking away. Then paused. Turned back. And whispered. Daniel. Yes. Thank you for showing up. He closed his eyes briefly, then opened them. I always will, he said. She looked at him one last time. Then walked away. And for the first time since she shut the door on him, Daniel Carter felt like he had a chance. Not a guarantee. Not a promise. Just a chance. And he'd take it. Every day. If you're still watching, you're officially invested. Should Maya give Daniel a real second chance? What should Daniel do next to earn her trust again? Comment your thoughts. And hit subscribe so you don't miss the next emotional chapter. For the next few days, something strange, something delicate, settled between them. Not friendship. Not romance. Not forgiveness. Something in between. A truce made of unspoken feelings and unfinished sentences. A slow, careful orbit. Daniel resisted every instinct to rush in and fix everything. No surprise money. No anonymous help. No sudden job offers. Just presence. He didn't text her paragraphs. Didn't call excessively. Didn't breathe too loudly in her direction. He sent her one message the morning after their park conversation. Thank you for meeting me. She replied 4 hours later. Thank you for listening. And that was it. Small. Gentle. Enough. It happened 2 days later. Maya was at a small grocery store near her apartment, comparing prices on cereal like her life depended on it. What's the difference between almond oat crunch and oat almond crunch? The price is literally the only difference. She grumbled under her breath. A familiar voice appeared beside her. The crunch to almond ratio. She froze. Turned. Daniel stood there with a shopping basket, in a black t-shirt and jeans, looking like someone who accidentally stepped out of a magazine and into aisle 7. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "Grocery shopping," he said simply. "At this store? You probably buy your groceries from places where the tomatoes have last names." His lips twitched. "Tomatoes don't need last names. They probably do in your world." He gave her a small smile. A real one. Soft. Careful. "Do you want help deciding?" he asked. "No," she said immediately. Pause. "Maybe." He stepped closer, not too close, and reached for the cheaper box. "This one tastes better," he said. "I lived on it for a year in college." She stared. "You lived on cereal?" "I also lived on instant noodles," he said. "A billionaire wasn't born. He was made. Badly." She laughed despite herself. Just a small laugh. But it made Daniel's chest warm. She looked down at the cereal box in his hand. "Okay," she said. "I'll trust your taste." He held her gaze for a moment. "Thank you," he said quietly. She looked away, pretending not to feel the weight of that. They checked out at the same time. Maya grabbed her bags quickly. "I'll walk you to your car," Daniel offered. "No, it's fine. I insist." "You insisting makes me want to say no. I'll walk beside you at a respectful, non-threatening distance." She snorted. "You sound like a lawyer." "I dated one once." "Oh. It didn't end well." She nodded slowly. A pang of jealousy flickered in her stomach, then she scolded herself for it. They stepped outside into the cool air. Her car was parked under a flickering streetlight. Daniel glanced at the dents in the bumper, the cracked taillight, the rust near the wheel. He didn't say a word. Didn't offer money. Didn't offer repairs. Didn't try to solve it. He just looked at her and said, "Is it safe?" She blinked. "No judgment," he added. "Just, is it safe for you to drive?" She exhaled. "It works," she said. "That's enough." He nodded slowly. "If it ever stops working," he said softly, "call me." She frowned. "I'm not calling a billionaire to fix my old Honda." "I didn't say I'd fix it," he said. "I said I'd show up. Big difference." She looked away, flustered. "Have a good night, Daniel." "You too, Maya." She got in the car. He waited until she pulled out. And from the rearview mirror she saw him still standing there, watching her leave like she mattered. It did something to her chest. Something dangerous. Something she didn't want to name. 2 nights later it happened. Maya and Jordan were walking home with takeout, laughing about a ridiculous meme, when a man stepped out from behind a dumpster. "Yo, sweetheart," he said, leering. "You got some time?" Maya stiffened. Jordan stepped in front of her instinctively. "Back off," he said. The man scoffed. "Relax, kid. I'm just asking the lady a question." Maya grabbed Jordan's arm. "We're leaving," she said firmly. The man moved in front of them. "Come on now. Don't be unfriendly." Maya's heart pounded. Jordan's jaw clenched. The man reached out, not touching her but close enough to make her stomach twist. And then, a sharp, commanding voice sliced through the darkness. "Step away from her." They all turned. Daniel was there. He wasn't wearing a suit. He wasn't wearing a uniform. He wasn't armed. But the look in his eyes, that was enough. He walked forward slowly, like someone who had zero fear in his bloodstream. The man looked him up and down and scoffed. "Who the hell are you?" Daniel didn't raise his voice. Didn't threaten. He just stepped between the man and Maya, locking eyes with the stranger. "You have 3 seconds to walk away," Daniel said calmly. 1. The man blinked. "You think you're tough." 2. The stranger hesitated. Daniel didn't blink. Didn't flinch. 3. Silence. Then the man spat on the ground and walked backward slowly. "You're lucky," he muttered before disappearing into the alley. Daniel exhaled slowly and turned to Maya. "Are you okay?" She nodded. Barely. Her hands were shaking. Jordan was staring at Daniel like he just witnessed a Marvel origin story. Daniel looked at Maya again. "Are you hurt?" "No," she whispered. He stepped forward gently, placing his hands on her shoulders, not pulling her close, just grounding her. "You're safe," he said softly. Her breath trembled. She didn't step away. She didn't push him off. Instead, she let herself stand there. With him. In a way she hadn't allowed before. Jordan cleared his throat loudly. Ahem. I'm still here. Maya stepped back flustered. Daniel didn't smile. His concern didn't fade. I shouldn't have let you walk home alone, he said quietly. You didn't know. I should have asked. His voice broke a little on the last word. Her heart twisted. Emotion rushed into her chest like a tide she couldn't stop. Daniel, she whispered. Why were you even here? He hesitated, then told the truth. All day, he said softly. I had a feeling you needed me. Her breath hitched. She didn't know what scared her more. That he said it. Or that she believed him. After they walked Maya and Jordan home, Daniel paused at the door. He wasn't ready to leave. She wasn't ready for him to stay. Silence stretched between them. Charged. Unresolved. Thick with everything they weren't saying. Finally, she whispered. Daniel, thank you. He nodded, eyes soft. You don't have to thank me. I do, she said. Because you didn't hesitate. I never will. She swallowed. Then, almost without thinking, she reached out and touched his hand. Just a brush. Barely a second. But the way Daniel inhaled sharply. The way his lips parted. The way his eyes locked on hers. It was electric. Dangerous. Real. She pulled her hand back quickly. I need to go inside, she whispered. He nodded. Slowly. Good night, Maya. Good night, Daniel. She slipped into the apartment. He stood in the hallway long after the door closed. Because he felt something in that touch that he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Real hope. The night after Daniel intercepted the man in the alley, Maya couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Daniel's face. The way he stepped between her and danger. The quiet fury in his eyes. The gentleness when he looked at her afterward. The way her hand accidentally touched his. And the world stopped. She lay awake staring at the ceiling. Hand resting lightly on her chest like she was afraid her heart might leap out. This wasn't supposed to happen. She wasn't supposed to care. She wasn't supposed to want him near. She wasn't supposed to remember the warmth of his hand or the way he said her name. But she did. Over and over. At 9:12 a.m. her phone buzzed. Daniel. Are you and Jordan okay? Simple. Short. No pressure. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She typed. Yes. Deleted it. Typed. Thank you again for last night. Deleted it. Typed. We're fine. Deleted it. Finally she sent. We're okay. Thank you for checking. 3 dots appeared. Vanished. Appeared again. Then. Daniel. I'm relieved. If you ever feel unsafe again, call me. No questions. Her heart tightened. She typed slowly. I don't want to rely on you. He replied instantly. You don't. You're the strongest person I've ever met. She swallowed. Typed. Then why do you keep showing up? This time the typing dot stayed on screen for a long time. Finally. Because I want to. She exhaled shakily. And typed nothing left. She put her phone down and pressed her hands against her face. This was getting dangerous. Around 2 p.m., Maya got a call from her mother's doctor. Good news. Her mother's blood pressure was stabilizing. Bad news. She needed to pick up a new prescription. One Maya couldn't afford yet. She checked her wallet. Then her bank app. $42.11. Not enough. Her pride clenched in her stomach. She didn't want to ask Daniel. She couldn't. It would feel like accepting help she didn't earn. Then her phone buzzed again. Daniel. Are you busy tonight? Her chest tightened. She typed. Why? His reply. There's something I want to show you. Nothing fancy. Just something important. She froze. This wasn't a date. He didn't say dinner. He didn't say romantic. Just important. Against her better judgment, her fingers typed. Okay. He responded. I'll pick you up at 6. She stared at the message for a long time. Then whispered. God help me. Daniel arrived at exactly 6 p.m. When Maya opened the apartment door, she froze. He wasn't wearing a suit. Not the billionaire armor. Not the janitor disguise. Just a dark gray sweater, rolled sleeves, simple watch. He looked warm, approachable, but still devastatingly handsome. Daniel swallowed when he saw her. She wore jeans and a fitted navy top, hair in soft curls, minimal makeup. She was breathtaking. "Hi," he said quietly. "Hi," she breathed. Jordan peered from behind the couch with narrowed eyes. "I'm watching you," he said to Daniel. Daniel nodded solemnly. "Understood." Maya rolled her eyes. "Ignore him." "I would never," Daniel replied. Jordan smirked like he approved. Maya shook her head and stepped outside, closing the door behind her. For a moment they simply stood facing each other. Not touching, not speaking, just feeling the air thicken between them. "You look nice," Daniel said, voice low. "So do you," she whispered. He opened the car door for her. She hesitated just a beat, then got in. They drove in silence for a while, the city lights reflecting through the windows. Finally she spoke. "Where are we going?" "To my past," he said softly. She stiffened. "Your past? You said you didn't understand why I went undercover," he replied. "I want to show you." She turned to him slowly. "Why me?" she whispered. He inhaled. "Because," he said quietly, "you're the only person I've met in years who talks to me like I'm just a man. Not a title. Not a paycheck. Not a brand." She swallowed hard. He parked in front of a rundown apartment complex in South LA. Nothing glamorous. Nothing expensive. Just a building like hers. Maybe worse. "This is where I grew up," he said. She froze. "You lived here?" He nodded. "Single mom. 3 jobs. We lived in apartment 2B. Leaked when it rained. Door didn't lock. We shared one heater." Her heart twisted. He walked her up the old steps, stopping in front of the faded door he used to walk through as a child. "No one knows this," he said quietly. "Not the board. Not the press. Not even most of my friends." "Why are you showing me?" she whispered. He turned to her, eyes soft and exposed. "Because," he said, "you're the first person I've wanted to share it with." Her breath caught. Emotion flooded her chest. She looked away quickly, overwhelmed. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. "You don't have to say anything." She turned back slowly. Their faces were close now. Too close. Her heartbeat pounded in her ears. He didn't touch her. Didn't grab her. Didn't lean in. He waited. Gave her space. Gave her choice. And that's what made her step closer. Barely. Inches. But enough. His chest rose sharply. "Maya," he whispered, voice trembling for the first time she'd ever heard. Her lips parted. Her breath brushed his. He leaned in. Slow. Gentle. Asking without asking. She didn't pull back. Didn't protest. Didn't breathe. Their foreheads touched. Soft. Electric. Charged with everything neither of them had dared to say. He whispered, "I want to kiss you. But only if you want me to." Her fingers curled at her sides. Her voice was barely audible. "Daniel." He swallowed. "Yes." She opened her mouth. And then, a loud voice yelled from across the street. "Hey, who's in my parking spot?" They jerked apart. The tension snapped like a string. Daniel exhaled shakily. Maya stepped back, flustered, heart pounding out of control. Daniel turned toward the shouting and sighed. "Welcome to my childhood." Maya laughed nervously, trying to calm her racing pulse. Inside, her heart whispered, "I was going to say yes." And Daniel's heart whispered, "She almost kissed me." The night Daniel took her to his childhood home, Maya slept with her pillow clutched against her chest like it was holding her heart inside. 'Cause that's how it felt. Like something inside her had shifted. Something she wasn't prepared for. Something she didn't want to admit had been growing for a long time. She had almost kissed him. She leaned closer. She didn't pull away. She wanted it. And that terrified her. Maya woke early and busied herself with everything except breathing. She deep cleaned the kitchen. She organized drawers. She folded laundry that didn't need folding. She deleted drafts of unsent texts to Daniel. Jordan watched her from the couch. "You're cleaning like someone who's avoiding a man." "I'm cleaning because this place is dusty." "Dust didn't exist yesterday, huh?" "Jordan." He smirked. Just admit you almost kissed him. She froze. Who told you that? She snapped. Your face, Jordan said simply. Your face always tells on you. She threw a pillow at him. He dodged, laughing. Maya and the Billionaire Janitor, he teased. I'd watch that show. It's not a show. And he's not. We didn't. Nothing happened. But something almost happened, Jordan said, softening. And that's what scares you, right? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Daniel tried to focus on work. He failed. He tried to attend meetings. He failed. He tried to respond to bored emails. He sent everyone sounds good to problems that weren't good at all. Finally, Evan stormed into his office. What did she do to you? Evan demanded. Daniel blinked. What do you mean? You've been staring at the same spreadsheet for 3 hours, Evan said. You haven't eaten. You haven't blinked. Your assistant asked if you fainted with your eyes open. Daniel rubbed his forehead. I'm fine, he said. You're in love, Evan corrected. I'm not. You are. Daniel glared. It's complicated. It always is. He sighed heavily. She almost kissed me, Daniel admitted. Evan sat down hard. Oh, well, that explains why you look like someone unplugged your soul. Daniel leaned forward, elbows on his knees. Evan, I don't want to rush her. I don't want to push her. I don't want to screw this up by being who I used to be. Evan softened. So don't be Daniel Carter, CEO, he said. Be the guy who stood in front of her in an alley. Be him. Daniel nodded slowly. He could try that. He wanted to try that. But Maya wasn't making it easy, and he respected that. 2 days passed with quiet, surface-level texting. Daniel, did you get home safe? Maya, yes. Thank you. Maya, how is your day? Daniel, chaotic. Yours? Maya, fine. Polite. Short. Safe. But her messages came hours apart. His replies were careful and gentle. Both of them pretending the almost kiss didn't happen. Both of them thinking about nothing else. Maya visited her mother that evening. They sat together in the living room, watching an old sitcom and sharing snacks. You're quiet today, her mother said. I'm just thinking, Maya replied. About the man who helped you the other night? Maya froze. What, Jordan told you? No, her mother said, amused. Your face told me. Is my face a public announcement system? Her mother laughed softly and squeezed her hand. You like him? No, I don't. You do. He lied to me. He apologized. He pretended to be someone else. He revealed the truth. He's complicated. You like that? Maya groaned. Mom. Her mother smiled knowingly. Baby, she said gently, you deserve someone who shows up. Flaws and all. Maya swallowed hard. He does show up, she whispered. And how do you show up for yourself? Her mother asked. By running away every time something scares you? Maya went silent. Because that one hit too close. Her mother brushed her thumb across Maya's hand. Fear is not a reason to close your heart, she said softly. Sometimes it's the reason to open it. It happened that same evening. Maya walked into the local pharmacy to pick up her mother's new prescription. The pharmacist scanned the label. That'll be $148. Her stomach dropped. She opened her wallet. $42.11. Same as always. She tried her card anyway. Declined. She swallowed. I'm sorry, she whispered. The pharmacist gave a sympathetic look. We can hold it for 48 hours. Maya nodded, humiliated. Her eyes stung as she turned and bumped into a warm chest. Daniel, holding a small bag of groceries. He froze. She froze. Instinctively, she stepped back. I wasn't following you, he blurted. I didn't say you were. I was getting tea, he said, lifting the bag awkwardly. For your throat. What about my throat? You sounded tired on the phone yesterday. She blinked. You remembered that? I noticed things, he said softly. Silence. Uncomfortable. Charged. Thick. He glanced at the counter behind her. What's wrong? Nothing. Maya. She exhaled. Mom's prescription, she admitted quietly. I'll pick it up later. He frowned slightly. Is everything okay? Yes. Maya. She sighed. It's expensive. He stepped closer. Not intimidating. Not aggressive. Just present. Let me. No, she said quickly. I told you. I don't want your money. He nodded. I won't pay for it, he said. She blinked. You won't. No. He took her elbow gently and guided her aside. Come with me. He walked her down an aisle, stopped in front of a shelf of over-the-counter alternatives, and pulled down 2 options. These will stabilize her blood pressure until you pick up the prescription, he said. She stared. You know about this stuff? My mother had hypertension, he said quietly. She used these for years before she could afford better care. Her heart clenched. He handed her 1 bottle. I'm not paying your bill, he said softly. I'm helping you take care of your mother. That's different. Her eyes filled instantly, and before she could stop herself, she reached out, touched his hand. This time she didn't pull away. And neither did he. He swallowed. Maya, he whispered. Their hands stayed clasped between them. Warm, steady, real. She whispered. I'm trying, Daniel. His voice broke. So am I. As they walked to the parking lot, their hands brushed again. Accidental. Then on purpose. She felt it. He felt it. And finally, she let her fingers slip into his. He inhaled sharply. Maya, don't read into it, she whispered. I won't, he whispered back. But he did. And she did. Their fingers intertwined all the way to her car. No kiss. No confession. Just 2 hearts finally meeting without fear. If you watched till the end, you felt that hand-holding moment. Should Daniel confess how he truly feels in the next episode? Or should Maya make the first move? Drop your take in the comments and hit subscribe. Days passed. Good days. Soft days. Days when Maya and Daniel didn't rush, didn't force, didn't run. They texted more freely. They talked more comfortably. They started to learn each other's rhythms. There were smiles that lasted too long. Touches that lingered a second too much. Moments both pretended not to overthink. But the peace didn't last. It never does. Not in stories like this. Not in lives like theirs. On a bright Thursday morning while Maya was frying eggs and Jordan was complaining about school, a news alert popped up on her phone. She nearly ignored it. Until she saw the headline. Exclusive. Billionaire CEO of Crestline Bank, exposed for undercover janitor experiment. Her stomach flipped. She clicked. The article said everything. Daniel Carter pretended to be a janitor. He hid his identity from staff. He observed employees without disclosure. He interfered in HR files. He influenced decisions off the books. He formed a personal relationship with a teller on probation. Maya froze. A cold wave washed through her limbs. Her name wasn't mentioned, but everyone would connect the dots. Jordan leaned close. Maya, is that about him? She didn't answer. Her heart was pounding too loudly. She reached for her phone to call Daniel, but it buzzed first. Daniel, please don't read the news yet. I'm coming to you. But she already had. It happened fast. By the time Maya grabbed her jacket and opened her apartment door, she saw a black SUV parked outside. Daniel stepped out. Not the soft, relaxed Daniel she'd grown used to. This Daniel looked furious, jaw set, eyes cold, chest heaving. Maya. She held up a hand. No. Not here. Not like this. I can explain. You told me you kept this private. I did. You told me no one knew. They didn't. She stepped back toward her apartment door. Well, they know now, Daniel. His throat bobbed. Maya, please don't shut me out. Her hands shook. I don't know what to think, she whispered. I don't know what to feel. He took a step closer. Then let me help you understand. Let me tell you the truth. Are you going to tell me this whole time I was part of your experiment? She snapped. He flinched. You weren't part of anything, he said quietly. You were the exception. You were the only thing that wasn't calculated. She swallowed, emotions clogging her throat. I don't know if I believe you. His voice cracked. Then ask me anything. Anything at all. But before she could respond, A second car pulled up. A man stepped out. Thompson. Red-faced. Smirking. Holding a file under his arm. Daniel tensed like a predator. "What are you doing here?" Daniel growled. "I came to talk to the woman who ruined my career," Thompson said coldly. Maya stiffened. "I didn't ruin anything." "Oh, but you did," Thompson sneered. "Little Miss Moral High Ground. Little Miss, I wouldn't let a customer disrespect a janitor." Daniel stepped in front of her instantly. "You don't talk to her," he warned. Thompson laughed. "Oh, please. You think I'm afraid of you? You're a scandal waiting to happen. And now the whole country knows it." Daniel's eyes darkened. Thompson lifted the file. "Corporate wants a scapegoat," he said, waving the papers. "Someone who looks like they manipulated the CEO. Someone who benefited from favoritism." Maya's breath caught. "What are you talking about?" Thompson grinned. "You didn't think the board was going to blame him, did you?" he asked. "No. They're blaming you." Maya's heart dropped. "What?" "You got special money," Thompson said smugly. "Special help. Special treatment. They think you seduced the CEO while he was undercover. They're calling it employee misconduct on your side." Daniel went white with fury. "That's a lie," Daniel growled. "An absolute." Thompson interrupted. "Oh, I know it's not true," Thompson said casually. "But the board doesn't care. They just need someone to fire publicly, while he keeps his image clean." Maya felt her heartbeat in her throat. "Why are you doing this to me?" she whispered. Thompson shrugged. "Because you made me look weak in front of him," he snapped. "And now? Now I get to watch everything fall apart for you." Daniel lunged. He actually lunged. But Maya grabbed his arm, stopping him. "Daniel, don't." His whole body shook. Thompson leaned in, smiling. "One press release," he said softly. "One email. One little announcement. Your life ends before it even restarts." Maya's stomach churned. Daniel stepped forward again, but Maya's grip tightened. "Daniel," she whispered. "Stop." He froze. Chest heaving. Fists clenched. Eyes full of fire. Thompson turned to leave. "Oh, and Maya," he called. She looked up. "You should never have talked back." He got in his car and drove off. Maya's legs felt weak. She leaned back against the wall, nausea rising. Daniel turned to her, panic in his eyes. "I'm going to fix this," he said instantly. "You can't," she whispered. "Yes, I can. Daniel. This isn't just your problem anymore." He shook his head. "No. You are not taking the fall for me." She swallowed hard. "Daniel. Everything he said about favoritism, about the help I got, what if people believe it? They won't. Because it's not true." "It looks true," she cried. "You made decisions about my file. You removed warnings. You paid for." "I didn't pay for anything," he snapped. "I used the company fund. The same one we created for employees exactly in your situation." "But no one knows that," she said, tears filling her eyes. "No one knows you weren't using me." Daniel staggered backward as if stabbed. "Maya," he whispered, voice breaking. "I would never, ever use you." She looked at him through tears. "But I used you," she said quietly. "What?" She wiped her face. "I leaned on you. I trusted you. I let myself feel something for you, without knowing who you really were." Daniel's breath caught. "That's not your fault. It's mine." Her next words shattered him. "I don't know if I can separate the man I almost kissed from the CEO who might ruin my life." He went still. Absolutely still. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "I don't know who you are to me anymore." He swallowed hard. "Maya," he whispered. "Tell me how to fix this. Tell me what you need." Her chest rose and fell rapidly. "I need space," she said. "And time." He flinched. "And you should leave," she finished. Daniel stared at her. Wounded. Lost. Helpless for the first time in his life. "Maya." His voice cracked. "Please." She shook her head as tears fell. "Daniel. Go." He didn't move. Not at first. But then. Slowly. Painfully. He turned away. Walked back to his car. Got in. Sat there for a long moment. And then, he drove off. leaving Maya standing alone in the fading light. Heartbreaking. The moment Daniel's car disappeared around the corner, Maya felt her knees buckle. She slid down the wall outside her apartment, pressing a hand over her mouth to stop the sobs from breaking loose. But they came anyway. Silent at first, then sharp, then uncontrollable. Her chest hurt. Her head hurt. Her heart felt like someone had reached in and twisted it until it snapped. She didn't know how long she sat there. Minutes? Hours? Time didn't make sense. Eventually, Jordan opened the door, eyes widening when he saw her on the ground. Maya, what happened? She shook her head, unable to speak. Jordan knelt beside her. Did he do something to you? He asked, voice rising with anger. No, she whispered. He didn't hurt me. Then who did? Life, she whispered. Jordan didn't push. He just wrapped his arms around her until her shaking calmed. Daniel didn't drive home. He drove with no destination. Past highways. Past city blocks. Past lights that blurred because he couldn't see properly. He parked near a pier overlooking the ocean and got out. The air was cold. Salt burned his eyes. He stood there gripping the railing like it was the only thing holding him upright. His phone buzzed nonstop. Evan. The board. PR. News alerts. He ignored them all. He pressed his forehead against the metal bar. It should have been me, he whispered. Not her. Because the part that gutted him the most wasn't the leak. It wasn't the scandal. It wasn't Thompson's twisted revenge. It was the look in Maya's eyes. Fear. Hurt. Disbelief. And worst of all, disappointment. He'd rather be punched in the face than see that look again. A tear slipped down his cheek. He covered his eyes with his hand and finally let himself break. Quietly. Painfully. Completely. The next morning, Maya got an email notification. From Crestline Corporate. Subject. Mandatory statement review. Her stomach twisted. She opened it. It wasn't a threat. It was worse. We request your cooperation in clarifying the nature of your interactions with CEO Daniel Carter during the period he was undercover. This is a standard investigation to ensure appropriate conduct. Please confirm your availability for a recorded interview. Maya's breath caught. Recorded interview? Clarify interactions? They were officially treating her like a liability, like a problem, like a scandal. She felt sick. Jordan peeked into her room. You okay? No, she whispered. I'm not okay. He sat beside her. Is this because of the billionaire janitor? Jordan. Hey, he said softly. Don't shut me out. She looked at him, really looked at him, and something inside her cracked open. Because he wasn't a kid anymore. He saw her pain. He felt her fear. He carried more than she realized. I didn't ask for any of this, she whispered. I know. I didn't want any of this. I know. She covered her face with her hands. I just wanted a job. A stable job. A chance to breathe. Jordan wrapped an arm around her. You'll get that, he said. You always get back up. You've been doing it my whole life. His voice wavered. Maya, you don't have to do it alone. That broke her. Because she felt alone. More alone than ever. And the one person she wanted beside her, she had pushed away. While Maya spiraled in fear, Daniel was already in the board's private conference room. He slammed a folder down on the table. Remove her name from every internal document, he said sharply. Board members exchanged glances. One cleared his throat. Daniel, with all due respect. No, Daniel snapped. We're not doing respect right now. We're doing right. Another board member leaned back. The media is calling her your mistress. A hot, murderous rage flashed through Daniel's eyes. She is not, he said through clenched teeth. And if any of you repeat that word again, you will regret it. Silence. Cold. Tense. Uncomfortable. The chairwoman folded her hands. Daniel, you compromised protocol. You interfered with employee files. You used the Crestline Cares Fund outside standard procedure. I followed the policy exactly, he said. I didn't break a single rule. They stared at him skeptically. She was flagged by management. No, Daniel said. She was flagged by me. The room shifted. Daniel, the chairwoman said slowly. The more you involve yourself emotionally, the worse this looks. He exhaled shakily. Then make it my scandal, he said. Not hers. A board member scribbled notes. You're asking us to publicly announce that the CEO alone, without staff knowledge, made these decisions. Yes. That is career suicide. Daniel's jaw clenched. That is leadership. They stared at him again. Hard. Testing. Measuring. One finally asked, Are you in love with her? Daniel closed his eyes for a long moment, then opened them, and said the truth. No. I'm not in love with her. The room relaxed. Until he added, Not yet. The room went still. Daniel leaned forward. If you want to fire someone, fire me. But she is off limits. Silence. Then, we'll reconvene in 2 days, the chairwoman said. Until then, do not speak to the press. Daniel nodded. Then he left. Not victorious, but determined. For Maya. That evening, Maya sat on her balcony steps, knees to her chest, staring at her mother's pill bottle. Empty. She hadn't had the money to refill it. Her stomach clenched with guilt. She whispered to herself, Everything's falling apart again. Her mother called from inside. Baby, dinner's getting cold. I'm not hungry, Maya said softly. Her mother came outside, wrapped in a sweater. She sat beside Maya. Come here, she said gently. Maya leaned against her mother's shoulder and finally let the tears fall. Her mother stroked her hair. What happened with the man you care about? She asked. Maya stiffened. Mom. I wasn't born yesterday, her mother said. Talk to me. Maya inhaled shakily. Mom, my name is on corporate documents. They think I had an affair with him. They think I manipulated him. They think I took money from him. And did you? No. Of course not. Does he think that? No. Her mother tilted her chin. Then why does it matter what anyone else thinks? Because people can ruin your life. Maya cried. People with power and money and lies and articles and rumors. You think he's one of those people? Her mother asked softly. Maya froze. Tears blurred her vision. No, she whispered. He's not. Then what are you running from? Her breath caught. Her mother continued. Baby, you're not running from him. You're running from how much you want him. Maya covered her face with both hands. I'm scared. Of what? That I'll fall, she whispered. And he won't catch me. Her mother wiped her tears gently. Then let him explain, she said. Let him fight for you. Let him show who he really is. Maya swallowed hard. Then whispered. I miss him. Her mother nodded softly. I know you do. At 10:42 p.m., Maya finally picked up her phone. Her hands shaking. Her chest tight. Her heart racing. She scrolled to Daniel's name. Paused. Took a breath. And pressed call. 1 ring. 2. 3. Then. Maya. His voice was rough. Like he'd been crying. Or yelling. Or breaking. Daniel, she whispered. He inhaled sharply. I'm here, he said. She swallowed. I need to see you. Silence. Then. Tell me where. She hesitated. Then whispered. Anywhere. Just come. His voice almost broke. I'm already on my way. Maya waited outside her apartment complex under the dim streetlight, arms wrapped around herself, heart thudding painfully. Every car that passed made her jump. Every shadow made her breath hitch. And then, headlights. His car. Daniel stepped out before the engine even fully shut off. He looked wrecked. Not physically but emotionally. Hair slightly messy. Eyes red-rimmed. Breathing unsteady. He walked toward her slowly, like approaching something fragile. Maya, he whispered. She swallowed. You came fast. I was already halfway here. Their eyes locked. Silence stretched, tight, painful, charged. Then he spoke. Maya, he said softly. I'm so sorry. She closed her eyes. Hearing him say it hurt more than hearing him stay silent. You didn't deserve any of this, he continued. The leak. The rumors. Thompson's threats. The fear. None of it. Her voice trembled. And yet I'm the one taking the fall. That is why I went to the board, he said. I took responsibility. All of it. She opened her eyes sharply. What do you mean? He inhaled deeply. I told them every decision about your file was mine. That you never influenced me. That you never benefited unfairly. That the scandal is mine alone. She stared in disbelief. You told them that? It's the truth. But they'll ruin you. He gave a small broken smile. They can ruin my title. Not me. Her throat tightened. You can't lose your career because of me. I'm not losing anything because of you, he said. I'm doing what I should have done from the start, protect you. She exhaled shakily. And what if they fire you? Then I'll find another way forward. And if they drag your name? I'll survive. And if they destroy your legacy? He stepped closer. If it saves you, he whispered, I'll burn it myself. Her breath caught. He meant it. He actually meant it. That scared her more than anything else. Daniel, she whispered, voice trembling. You can't say things like that. He frowned. Why? Because it makes it harder, she whispered. Harder to stay away. Harder to protect myself. Harder to breathe around you. Daniel's chest rose sharply. Maya. She looked up at him, eyes wet. You make promises like they don't cost you anything. They cost me everything, he said. But you're worth it. Stop, she whispered. Why? Because I don't know if I can believe you. He froze. She swallowed hard. You lied to me once. He closed his eyes. I know. And I will spend as long as you let me proving I won't lie again. But what if this is another mistake? She whispered. What if you are another mistake? His eyes snapped open. For a moment he looked like she had stabbed him in the chest. Her breath broke. Daniel, I didn't mean. No, he said softly. You meant it. She shook her head. I'm scared. I'm scared of everything. Scared of losing my job. Scared of people talking about me. Scared of getting attached to someone who has a whole different world. Scared of falling for you. His breath caught. She realized what she had said. Color drained from her face. He stepped closer very carefully, like approaching a wounded animal. You're scared of falling for me, he whispered. No, she whispered. A beat. Yes. Emotion flashed in his eyes, hope, pain, disbelief. Maya. But that doesn't matter, she interrupted. His chest tightened. Why? She took a long shaking breath. Because even if I feel something, even if I want something, I can't be with you right now. Not when I'm drowning. Not when my life is a disaster. Not when the world thinks I slept my way into favoritism. You didn't, he said sharply. None of that is true. But people believe it, she whispered. And love isn't strong enough to survive that level of power imbalance. He swallowed hard. It could be. It won't be. A tear slipped down her cheek. Maya, Daniel whispered, voice cracking. Don't do this. Don't push me away. I have to, she whispered. Not because I don't care. But because I care too much. His face twisted with pain. Maya, stop. She backed away one step. Then another. His voice dropped to a desperate, breaking whisper. Please don't leave me like this. Her heart shattered. So did his. Finally, she whispered the words that would haunt him. I need to choose myself right now. He stopped breathing. She wiped her tears. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. She turned away. Walked to her apartment door. Opened it. Stepped inside. Turned back only once. Just long enough for him to see her lips form the silent words. I miss you. Then she closed the door. And Daniel Carter, the man who built empires, the man who conquered rooms with confidence, the man who never broke, stood alone under a streetlight, and shattered completely. 3 days passed. 3 long, heavy, suffocating days. Maya didn't hear from Daniel. Not a text. Not a call. Not a note. And that silence hurt more than she expected. She tried to distract herself. More cleaning, more job applications, more pacing, but everything felt wrong. Food tasted dull. Music sounded empty. Work emails irritated her. Her mother noticed. Jordan noticed. And Maya felt like she was missing a piece of herself she never meant to give away. On the 3rd night, she sat on the edge of her bed, staring at her phone for the 100th time. I told him to leave, she whispered to herself. She had. She pushed him away. For good reasons. For self-preservation. But her heart? Her heart didn't agree. Across town, Crestline Bank headquarters was in chaos. Reporters outside. Cameras everywhere. Scandal headlines looping non-stop. PR teams panicked. Board members planned statements. Stockholders emailed threats. But Daniel? He was calm. Cold. Determined. Focused. He walked into the emergency board meeting with a folder in his hand and a storm in his eyes. You want a statement, he said. Here's the only one I'm giving. The board chair opened the folder. Inside was a written confession. All decisions related to employee adjustments, including emergency aid and disciplinary review, were made exclusively by me. No employee, including Maya Andrews, engaged in inappropriate conduct or received preferential treatment. They stared at him. The chairwoman exhaled. This will destroy your public image. Daniel responded. No. It will fix what matters. And what is that? Another board member asked. Daniel stared them down. Her. The room froze. Someone whispered. He's serious. The chairwoman rubbed her forehead. Daniel, the public will rip you apart. Then let them, he said. I'll survive it. And the bank, she asked. Daniel placed another document on the table. I'll temporarily step down as CEO until the scandal clears. The board exploded into whispers. You'd give up your position? The chairwoman asked. Yes. For a teller? Daniel corrected her quietly. For Maya. Silence. Deep. Stunned. Life-changing. The board didn't know what to say. But eventually, they nodded. Reluctantly. Slowly. Respectfully. The chairwoman spoke. We'll release the statement in the morning. Your suspension will be temporary and private. Maya will not be contacted again. Daniel's shoulders dropped, relief and exhaustion washing over him at once. Thank you, he said softly. But he didn't feel victory. He felt the ache of missing her. The next morning, Maya woke to dozens of notifications. Texts, calls, alerts. One headline stood out. Daniel Carter accepts full responsibility. Female employee cleared of all allegations. Maya's heart stopped. She sat up, hand trembling as she clicked the article. There it was. A Daniel confessed to the decisions. A Daniel cleared her name. The board confirmed she did nothing wrong. A Daniel voluntarily stepped down temporarily. A no disciplinary action against any employee. And then the line that hit her like a punch. Sources say Carter insisted that the female employee not be named or contacted further. Her vision blurred with tears. He didn't protect himself. He protected her. Even though she pushed him away. Even though she broke his heart. Even though she said she couldn't trust him. Her mother stepped into the room. You saw the news? Maya nodded, voice shaking. He sacrificed everything for me. Her mother smiled gently. So what are you waiting for? She whispered. Maya didn't think. She didn't change clothes. She didn't fix her hair. She didn't rehearse a speech. She just ran. Ran out of the apartment. Ran down the street. Ran until her lungs burned and her legs ached. She didn't know where he lived. Only where he'd go when everything fell apart. The pier. The place he always returned to. The place that held his memories. She prayed he'd be there. Please, please, please be there. When the wooden boards of the pier finally came into view, she slowed, chest heaving, breath shaking. And then she saw him. Standing alone. Facing the ocean. Hands in his pockets. Shoulders tense. Head bowed slightly. He looked like a man who'd lost everything. And Maya's heart cracked open. She approached slowly. Her steps were soft, but he heard her. He turned. Their eyes locked. Shock. Relief. Fear. Hope. All at once. Maya, he breathed. She swallowed. Why didn't you tell me? She asked, voice trembling. Tell you what? That you took the blame. He exhaled. It wasn't your burden to carry. Her eyes filled again. You could lose everything. I don't care. You should. I don't, he repeated softly. Not if it means you're safe. Tears slipped down her cheeks. She stepped closer. You didn't have to protect me. Yes, he whispered. I did. Why? He hesitated, then said the truth, the one he'd been terrified of. Because. His voice shook. I'm in love with you. Maya froze. Everything inside her stopped. He continued. I tried not to be. I tried to pull back. I tried to stay away. But I can't. You're the one person who sees me. The real me. The man under the title. The man I used to be. The man I want to be. She stared at him through tears. Daniel. I don't expect you to say it back, he whispered. I don't expect anything. I just need you to know. I choose you. Every time. Maya took a shaking breath, then stepped forward until she was right in front of him. His chest rose sharply. Daniel, she whispered. I pushed you away because I was scared. I'm still scared. But. She reached for his hand. He let her take it. Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper. I'm in love with you too. His eyes closed like the world had just returned to color. Maya, he whispered, her name breaking in his mouth. She stepped closer. So stop standing so far away, she whispered. Then finally, she lifted her hand to his cheek. He leaned into her touch desperately. Slowly, gently, carefully. He leaned in. She leaned in too. Their breaths mingled. Their foreheads brushed. And then, he kissed her. Soft at first. Searching. Disbelieving. She kissed him back. Hungry. Honest. Emotional. His hands cupped her face. Her fingers curled into his sweater. The ocean wind whipped around them. The world disappeared. It was slow. It was deep. It was everything they'd been holding back for weeks. When they finally pulled apart, foreheads touching, breath mingling, Daniel whispered, I'm not going anywhere. Maya smiled through tears. Good, she whispered, because I'm done running. He pressed another soft kiss to her lips. And for the first time in a long time, both of them felt whole. If you reached the end, tell me, was this the better than all you've watched on this channel? Should I continue their story in another part, or start a brand new one? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more emotional stories.